Hey everyone, welcome back. Doing something a little different today. This is going to be the Battle of the Datejusts. So I've had a lot of people over the past few weeks ask me about my Pagani Datejust and the Cadisen Day-Date presidential I have. So to do this comparison, let's just pretend that the Cadisen is just a straight-up Datejust, and these two watches here are same color, and both just date windows. There's some big differences between the two. There's some quality differences between the two, and I want to help guide you so if you're looking to spend a little bit of money, that you can get the watch that I think is going to be a much better wear for you and is going to be much more of the quality that you're looking for. So right off the bat, let's just talk about some similarities. They both have fluted bezels. They both have date windows. Little differences though, the date window is much more magnified on the Pagani than it is on the Cadisen. So a little bit of quality difference there. I feel like the Cadisen kind of shortened their cares when it comes to the date window, and it is magnified, but it still just doesn't look nearly as large. Staying on the face, the Pagani has somewhere a mix between stick and baton indices. I'm never totally sure what to call them. And the Cadisen has the Roman numerals. I think this is where I'm going to award the first point. I'm going to give it to Pagani. This is strictly, though, aesthetics. You may like one or the other, but in my mind here, I think on a date just like this, I think the baton stick indices look much better than the Roman numerals do. So this one you could kind of discount and whatever you like better, but I'm going to award my first point here to the Pagani for the baton stick indices. Up next, want to talk about the bracelets. As you can see, the Pagani has a more typical Jubilee type bracelet, where the Cadisen has an oyster bracelet. I think this is a fairly easy decision for me. Again, this is also somewhat of an opinion, but I think for a Datejust, you should have the Jubilee bracelet, and I do think in this case, the Jubilee bracelet does look the best on the watch. I do love, though, this is getting a little minute, so I'm going to give a point to Pagani there. But when it comes to the clasp, I do think that the hidden clasp on the Cadisen is significantly better than the imitation Rolex clasp on the Pagani. So I'm going to give Cadisen a point there for that. 2-1 right now in Pagani's favor. Overall, the bracelet, I think, looks better on the Pagani, but I think the function, because of the clasp on the Cadisen, gives it that point. Next, I want to talk about just overall build quality. This one is kind of hard to tell because the two models I have here are not identical comparisons. But when it comes to setting the date, winding, all the little minute kind of details that it comes on a watch of this price point, obviously you can't expect the best, but I do think, in my opinion, the Cadisen should get the point there because it does just feel slightly more robust. I do like the way the winding feels. I like the way the setting feels. It is obviously, in my example here, a more complicated movement because it's day and date, so that's a little different if you have just two Datejusts going up here, but I do think overall build quality feels better on the Cadisen. Up next, I want to chat about attention to detail, which is kind of ties into build quality, but these are two watches that both have little features that I think show some detail. Like the Cadisen has the word Cadisen all around the inside, similar to the way Rolex has themselves written around the chapter ring on the inside. Pagani does not have that, but they have the minute markers, and then they have, Japan movement on the bottom. The Cadisen doesn't say anything as to where it's made on it. Pagani has 24 jewels versus the 21 at Cadisen. I think I'm not going to award any points when it comes to attention to detail. I'm going to call it a tie. I don't think either one, or I don't think that not awarding a point here is because they're neither worth it. I just think it doesn't matter to give them a point when it's a tie. But I do think both have their pros and cons when it comes to attention to detail, but they're both pretty great looking. On the wrist, it's kind of hard to tell because of the two different bracelets. But I do think because of the wearability of the Pagani's Jubilee bracelet, I do think that the Pagani Datejust wears better and feels better than the Cadisen. If you like the feel of an oyster bracelet more than a Jubilee, then you're definitely going to like the Cadisen more. But I think if you're looking for a true Datejust in your collection, then I think the way that this Jubilee feels with this case, I think you have a real winner there. And I do think that is really the deciding factor between these two watches. I truly love the Cadisen. I think it's a gorgeous watch. And if you want a day date or a president or whatever you want to call this homage to, I do think this is a stunning watch. But if you're looking for a straight up Datejust, and I know the Cadisen does make it in a straight date version, I think you're going to be somewhat disappointed because I think it's trying to be something that it's not. And I think the true Datejust watch here is the Pagani, and I think it's a little cheaper last time I checked as well, but I think you're going to be very happy if you pick the Pagani as your winner, and that's where I think you should spend your money. That's my humble opinion. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm going to try to do some little more comparisons when I don't have a ton of watches around. Let me know if you want to see any other two paired off against each other, and I'll jump into those. Thanks for watching. Thanks for taking part in that last contest. The winners posted in that group. Look forward to see you guys next time.